In a quiet village nestled between golden hills and whispering trees lived a girl named Hana. Hana wasn't the kind of person who drew attention. She didn't speak much. She didn't raise her hand first in class. She walked with her eyes slightly down, as if always listening to something no one else could hear. But inside Hana, there was a world filled with dreams, questions, and gentle hopes. And yet, she often asked herself, why do I feel so small? One early spring morning, after a long rainy night, Hana sat beneath the old cherry blossom tree behind her grandmother's house. Her grandmother, a woman with eyes as calm as the river and a smile that knew many stories, walked over and sat beside her. You know, Grandma began softly, confidence is not about being loud. It's about listening to the quiet voice inside you and choosing to trust it. Hana looked up, curious, but I don't feel like that voice is strong enough. Grandma chuckled gently. Come, let me show you something. She led Hana to the garden. It wasn't perfect. Some plants leaned a little too far. Others had holes in their leaves, but it was alive, colorful, real. You see this little flower? Grandma pointed to a small yellow bud, half hidden by taller leaves. It's not the biggest or the brightest, but it's growing, and that's enough. Confidence, she said, starts when you learn to be kind to yourself, like watering this flower. That night, Hana sat by her window and tried something new. She whispered just to herself, I am trying, and that's enough. It felt strange at first, but something in her chest felt warmer. Days passed. Hana began to notice her thoughts more. When she spilled water on the floor, she smiled and said, It's okay, I'll clean it. When her drawing didn't turn out right, she said, It's still mine. I made it. She was watering her own garden, little by little. And something magical happened. She began to notice how often she compared herself to others, to the girl with the perfect handwriting, to the boy who always made people laugh, to the ones who seemed to belong everywhere. But then she remembered what Grandma said. Each flower in the garden blooms in its own time. One afternoon, she stood in front of the mirror and said, I don't need to be anyone else. I am already a whole story. But not everything was easy. One morning, she was asked to read a short poem in class. Her heart pounded, her hands trembled. That old voice inside whispered again, You're not ready. What if you mess up? She nearly said no. But then she thought of the cherry blossom tree, of the little yellow flower, of the kindness she had been practicing, and she said yes. She stood in front of the class, her voice soft but steady. She didn't read loudly. She didn't read perfectly, but she read from her heart. And when she looked up, she saw something she didn't expect. Her teacher smiled. Her classmates listened. No one laughed. No one judged. They had heard her. That night, she told her grandmother what had happened. Grandma only nodded with a warm smile. You faced your fear, Hana. That's how we grow strong. Slowly, Hana began to explore what made her feel alive. She wasn't good at sports, but she loved painting. She wasn't the center of attention, but she listened deeply to others. Every time she did something she was good at, her confidence glowed a little brighter. She stopped chasing after being the best and started enjoying being herself. One day, she caught herself smiling just because she finished a drawing she liked. Another time, she said no when she was too tired to join a school project. She didn't feel guilty. She was learning to protect her own peace. She was learning to say, this is important to me. This doesn't feel right now. I can choose. And those little decisions became bricks, bricks that built the quiet house of her confidence. She learned something else too, how powerful it is to truly listen. Not just to words, but to people's hearts. When her friend Mai was sad, Hana didn't try to fix her. She simply sat with her, holding her hand. Sometimes, saying nothing is the greatest kind of courage. One spring afternoon, the teacher asked everyone to share something they were proud of this year. Some talked about winning competitions. Others shared their grades. When it was Hana's turn, she stood, heart beating. She paused, then said quietly, I'm proud that I didn't give up on being myself. Silence, and then soft claps. The teacher's eyes glistened, and Mai whispered, me too. That moment, Hana didn't feel small. She didn't feel like a shadow. She felt whole. So, if you ever feel like your voice is too quiet, if you ever think you need to be louder, faster, smarter to matter, remember Hana. Remember that confidence isn't about shining brighter than others. It's about turning toward your own light. Water your own garden. Speak from your heart. Be kind to yourself.